Yeah, back to the podcast.
All right.
I'm curious to know how you guys process pressure, anxiety, and kind of expectations, whether you're on the track, on the court, or on the trail.
That was
You want me to take this?
sorry.
It's a loaded question.
One of the good things about backpacking is the only pressure is that you don't fall behind.
Yeah.
Because then you're a burden on everyone else. So the pressure is, can I make it through? Do I have the endurance mentally and physically to keep up? And I personally don't feel a lot of pressure when I'm on these trips.
Backpacking,
I'm generally, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that's a good thing about a group is there's no question that we'll be able to do it. Like,
Right. We know our guys. We know.
Yeah.
Unless something goes wrong, which didn't end up being that much of a problem.
Right.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So there's not that much pressure.
Which adds to what's so nice about it is
Right.
that there's no pressure. Well, which is completely different than our high school sports. Like I always felt a lot of pressure in high school sports.
From yourself or like from the coaches or
Myself a lot. And just I mean, because you have to, especially with cross country, there was always like a team pressure, like because we always had a pretty good team and we want to make it to state every year, so there's a lot of pressure that came with doing that every year. But for me, I would always get so nervous before every race for some reason, and over the years it just got worse and worse.
That's normal.
That's normal. Yeah.
No, it was pretty.
It was bad.
It was bad. Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't like like I wouldn't be nervous. Like it would just be. It wasn't even that. Like I couldn't even say what it was. It was just. I think there's a lot of. Well, a lot of it comes from this is going to be a really painful 20 minutes, But it would be like I would wake up fine, and it would be like a small race that I didn't care how I did. It would even be like a race where I was like, I'm not gonna like go full out today. And still I think it was just became like a tradition, almost like a habit, where I'd get on the starting line and my body would just start to feel numb and like really nervous for whatever reason.
Interesting.
And I was never able to get rid of that, which sucked. It really sucked.
But like, would it go away when you're doing?
Yeah, when the second the gun goes off, it goes away pretty much. And I know
That's great.
Yeah. But it sucked before because it would get to the point where like I could talk, but when it was almost like I'd lose a lot of energy because I was so nervous.
I'm curious to know like what.
I don't know what it is. I know. I mean, a lot of people have it, but not to that extent.
But there's
that makes sense.
Nerves that come from different places, like with like fans are watching or from their.
That's definitely it, because But that was the thing is it wouldn't be one thing like I said there would be races that I didn't care about. I was like I'm just gonna finish today, and I would still have that feeling.
Yeah.
So something I think it became the sort of thing my body would just instantly feel like that when I showed up at a race. You know what I mean? Yeah, like a habit, which sucks.
You said it got worse, like.
Yeah, it got worse. Like freshman year wasn't as bad. That was more just like because freshman year I could recognize why I was nervous because I was still new to it and I had a lot higher expectations freshman year. And then sophomore, junior, and senior year, then it just started to happen. And I wouldn't even be able to know why, which was weird.
Nobody talk about some pressure.
I mean, do you feel pressure when you play volleyball?
I do because I don't play every game. So it would be occasional. So whenever I would be put in, I feel a lot more pressure. The people that play my position, the two other people are 6'9" and 6'6".
Oh,
and they are much more physically suited to play that position
than
me, who is 6'1", 6'2". Depending on what you think. So when I play, I feel like I have to really show that I can still perform even if I'm not that tall, and that I can still make the team better despite the physical limitation of it.
Yeah.
And that I would get nervous before games. For sure.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But then once
you felt like you had to prove something a little bit.
For sure. Yeah. And once you're in it, it flows much better.
Yeah.
And volleyball, it's a team sport. Unlike it's much more team oriented. So it's like you're creating a connection with your setter as the game goes on. We have such great setters in our class. Like Mike is a very generous setter. So it's once you're in it, it's an inviting environment to perform well in. But leading up to it, it's pretty nerve-wracking. And then also there's the fan aspect of it, which
Yeah.
I really don't want to mess up and
Yeah.
disappoint my parents. Because obviously not like after the game they're gonna be like, "You're not my son. You didn't, you didn't do well."
Yeah.
Like obviously they're not gonna say that,
But you
but
still
you want to do well.
Yeah.
And then my dad played college volleyball, so
Oh, actually?
yeah, he played
I
for
didn't know
UCSD. So he was good, and he knows everything about volleyball. Like after every game, he'll analyze every single thing about it. So I don't want to be on the bad side of that analysis.
I used to have that with baseball all the time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah,
yeah.
but because that's my dad's favorite sport. He played it. He coached it. He coached me, and he would get really really into it. And I definitely felt that. Like the main reason I didn't want to do bad is because I didn't want to hear from him. Like,
and I think that's
which made it a lot worse. That's why.
Very common too. I feel like
Definitely, yeah,
in our culture.
But no hate to my parents on that.
No,
like I don't think they're putting unnecessary pressure on me. It's just like you want to impress them.
Yeah, of course.
You want to do a good job, and I don't think there's anything like wrong with that.
No,
yeah,
of course not. Well, that's how it was more for cross country because he didn't care as much.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, he still wanted to see me do good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like baseball where he would like be upset if I didn't do good, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. I never played football in my life. So whenever I would go out there, I'd be like, nobody is expecting me. Like, to be that good.
There's something to be said about people having low expectations for you. You know what I mean? Like,
it allows you to.
There's only one way to go from there. You
Just
go
go
up.
up. Yeah.
I'd say you stay with football. You stay the
Stay
same.
pretty low.
It's also different though when like the team is either really good or not so good. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
If you're a winning team or a losing, and
It's like totally different. Volleyball is a winning team for Parker.
Yeah.
It's an open division.
So maybe there's more pressure with that.
Yeah, we were top 15 in the state.
Wow, you guys are
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
So we were legit, you know.
the real deal.
I don't know about 15. No, yeah, probably.
Let's just keep it up.
Yeah. So it's both a lot of pressure because you want to win, but it's also nice because you go and do it knowing that your team is capable.
Yeah.
And that by extension you are probably more capable.
Yeah.
I'm a member of a top 15 team, you know, so it's you believe you're probably going to end up doing better.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you more confidence.
Right. Whereas football, I joined senior year, so obviously I wasn't there for the past 3 years, but I've always heard Parker's team is not that good.
Yeah.
You know, Parker's team is not good, and our record this year wasn't as bad as previous years. But still, there's not a lot of confidence going into it,
Right.
and we would be booked against really hard teams like Division I teams, and we would. When you go into a game knowing you're not going to win, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we played like La Jolla High and they're D1, we're D4.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get a team motivated for that.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there's not as much pressure because you can say in the back of your head, "I'm not going to win. Why don't I just try my best to do everything I can?"
Yeah.
And people aren't gonna like hate me if I don't win. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense because like you're when you're put in that situation, you yourself are just gonna focus on you and you getting better.
Right.
Like it can definitely get to the point where you guys aren't putting the effort that you're capable of.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like, we're not going to win anyway.
That it can go that way.
Yeah.
If you aren't in the right mindset, you can say, "I'm not going to win. Why even try?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can go at it, "Probably not going to win, but why not leave it all out there?"
Right.
You know? So those are the two different headspaces. Definitely don't want to be on the side of not trying.
Yeah.
Because then, as I said earlier, if you think about a football game like that, you're going to think about everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to get 100 on this test. Should I even study tonight? It's like, yeah, you should. Because then you could get an 80 instead of the 70. You know what I'm saying? So you want to try it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that's my awesome lesson for you.
It's
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Did you get anything out of that?
I got a lot, man. Yeah.
It's unique for every sport, and pressure can come from like anywhere. And I think it's I think for me, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I think that might be because my parents don't put so much pressure on me. And I mean, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, however you want to take it. But it's like, well, then how do I prevent like, putting so much pressure on myself,
Got it.
Because it can go bad or good. I don't know. It depends how the game is. And I know because I did flag football.
I was about to ask, how do you like, that's more of a competitive sport.
That is very
for you, right? Because you did cheer.
Yeah, I did cheer, and
you can't really lose a cheer.
Yeah. But there was a lot of pressure from our coach in cheer.
Oh, I forgot.
But yes, but flag football cheer wasn't competitive. So flag football was more competitive, and our coaches were really amazing. They were very team focused, which was super nice. And I think a lot of the members on the team also played other sports. So that was another type of pressure. Is like, well, I'm not someone who plays sports. I'm not like that type of athlete. And there are all these athletes coming in super strong, got that training in, and they're really good. But I think it also just depends on the team dynamic. Like when my team was really nice and good, and like we were all good about making sure that everyone got a chance to play,
Yeah.
So I think that was something that helped me, was the external pressure that was given to me helped me kind of lessen that pressure from myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you liked it though?
Yes, I love it.
It was good.
It was really fun.
And you guys were a pretty good team.
We were a really good team.
Yeah.
We didn't get to play enough games to make it to like CIF or whatever, but we were like winning a lot of those games.
That's great.
And we were a team that worked really well together, and it was mostly like the underclassmen who were really good. So I think next year.
Yeah, I think so. They're gonna be good this year.
Yeah, they'll probably be good too.
It's probably pretty cool to be part of like a new sport too.
Yeah.
That's the other
really
thing.
new sports. It's pretty rare.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, especially like just the whole gender thing. I think it's really cool, and the fact that they added it my senior year was
That's great.
I'm glad I got to be part of it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I'm curious to know if you guys have like someone you look up to, or like a role model, either like growing up or even now, that helps you stay motivated.
You want to? Or you want to think that for a second?
You can hold it. Are you ready?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have two answers. There was, in volleyball, the class of 2023 was really stacked of great players and also just great dudes. So those are 2 years above us, and I really looked up to them my whole time. So there's Matthew Artunian and Garrett Henderson were like the main guys that I looked up to, and they were in my position. So I wanted to be like them, and they were both really good. They're only like 6'2", and I always idolized them as way better than I could ever be. And then Coach Herm would say many times throughout this year, "This is the best team we've had in 10 years. This is the best team," because we were good this year.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like 2 years ago, I could have never imagined being better than those guys, and now we've kind of aspired to that, and that's such a great feeling. But you look up to them because they had such a great presence of like mentorship, and it's just like a physical presence. They were big dudes, you want to look up to them, you want to be like them. But in the end, we ended up being better than them. So it's like I didn't even look up to them because they were the best guys. It's just because I was younger and they were such a cool figure to look up to.
Yeah.
And they were so nice to the younger class. And I grew up with Matthew Archington too, so I've known him forever, so he has to be nice to me. But all that stuff is just such a great motivator when you look up to someone and eventually like surpassing them. That's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And then my second answer would be just your parents.
Yeah.
I think anything you want to work harder to impress your parents.
Yeah.
And I think we're so privileged. All of us, Parker, are so privileged. You never just want to. You never want your parents to think you're just like leaning back and enjoying your nice privilege and your nice house.
Yeah.
You want to show them I can work hard at this and do well at this.
Yeah.
And that's something that for us, we're so privileged that it's something we have the option of doing, of taking the initiative of saying, I'm going to try hard at this, instead of, if we were less privileged, we would have to work a job.
Yes.
We would have to do this to show not to show our parents, but like we would have to survive.
Yeah.
So then you get into our level of privilege, you get to choose, how am I going to show that I can work hard and that I can have this fun, and you want to impress. So,
Mine's pretty much the same thing as Evan's.
Nice.
But for me, my biggest mentor that I can think of in high school was Kenan. Yeah.
Oh,
How'd you
we love
say that?
Kenan.
Yeah.
How?
Well, it was a little different because Cannon was genuinely like an unbelievable runner. He went on to run D1 at Yale.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew I would never get to that level, but still it was super motivating. All the seniors my freshman year were super motivating. I think any older figure, especially as like a younger, vulnerable freshman, whatever it is, freshman in high school or even freshman in college, um, I think like looking up to anybody who's not that much older than you, but like a senior or a junior,
Yeah.
you can relate to them, but in like in an impactful way.
Mhm.
So especially with Kenan, I was like, I'm gonna be in his position in a couple of years, but I still see him as like this, like he was almost like a god to me because he was crazy.
I get it though.
Yeah. And so he pushed me um to do what I did uh as a runner. And then I'd say the same thing is just specifically my dad, not even in athletics, but just in life in general, because uh he was never the smartest person. Like he'll tell me stories from high school and say he was never the smartest in high school or never like he never would have thought that he would have been so successful in life, but
Yeah.
like he obviously worked really hard and uh I've always just been impressed about his work ethic and the way he handles different things. And so even like it's not even a specific thing, but just the way he handles different situations, I've always looked up to that and like used that as a role model.
It's great. Is there a saying or piece of advice that you guys keep to yourselves, especially when things get tough?
Yeah, like come
Not
to mind.
one. There were sayings that I would say to myself before a race. Like I always used to say, Cannon actually told me this one was the best pace is a suicide pace. Today is a good day to die. And I'd always like repeat that to myself on the starting line. Just because like it meant something to me because he told me that. And we would always say it freshman year.
Yeah.
But that's not really something I say to myself like in other situations. That was more just because it was a tradition on the start line.
Yeah.
But that actually helped a lot because in that moment, so many things are going through your head. And like I said, I would always be really nervous. And then you just say that and it kind of helps motivate you and take your mind off things a little bit.
Do you have one of it?
I really don't have a distinct one.
Yeah, that's
We
fine.
say get better today,
Mm.
which is supposed to imply like every single practice you can make a slight improvement.
Yeah.
And eventually we have okay. The little things don't make the difference, they are the difference. So the little changes in your work ethic or a little technique shift, that is the actual difference between a good player and a bad player. It's not in the background. Like that is the stuff that matters. At such a high level, it's the little things that matter. And if you can perfect all the little disciplines of I'm gonna work hard here, I'm gonna actually work hard in conditioning, I'm not gonna like half-ass it just because I can. That's what is the difference in the end. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That was like really deep. I love it. What else? I lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's all good.
Oh, yeah. What is your guys' mental playbook that keeps you going?
Mental. Can you elaborate on that?
So there are a bunch of different definitions of what a mental playbook is. And it's kind of similar to what I asked you, but I mean, you can think about it however you want, but what I see is what are things that keep you going? Again, when times are tough, when you face adversity, is it an activity? Is it a mindset? Is it a person? What is your playbook, I guess, that helps you build mental resilience?
I'm not sure.
You can go.
Great.
Yeah.
For me, it's the gym, like the weight room.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing to do. I just love being there and training hard and to, like knowing that I'm putting in effort and it's gonna lead to a result. Because it's hard and it's challenging, but it's also fun for me. And it's something that like if I have a bad day, there was a volleyball game last year where I did not play well,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I told my dad, he was like, "What do you want for dinner?" And I was just like, gonna go to the
Yeah.
weight room. I like I don't want to. I just want to work out right now. And it's like a clarity thing.
Right.
But you also know that it's improved you.
Mhm.
It's much better to have something like that than, oh man, I had a really bad volleyball game. I'm gonna make myself feel better with a milkshake
Yeah.
and Instagram reels. It's like that's something you don't want to fall into. So I think if you can have a dependable, good habit, that's a really good thing
Yeah.
for your life.
I like that.
For me, I was kind of thinking about this the other day. Like, for as long as I can remember, or I guess just like when I got super into cross country and track, and going on for the next 4 years with like biking and cycling.
Mhm.
There's so many moments where I find myself looking at my watch. How many more miles? Because
Yeah.
cross country and track, and then cycling too. It's like how many more miles until I'm done. So I feel like my life has been super centered around getting to the finish line or
Yes.
getting to that next mile, which is a little weird to think about sometimes because like a finish line is just like a finish line. It doesn't really have any significance. Like it's just there,
Yeah.
and it's this little line where you can stop. You can stop doing it. Um, so sometimes when I think about it like that, I'm like, what am I doing? It's like everything. Like there's so many moments where when can I stop? How many more miles? But I've had that so much that I kind of just rely on my grit and my like. I've never quit a race. I've never like dropped out of
Yeah.
any race like that. So I always know kind of what we were talking about with backpacking that when I start something, as much as it sucks, like I'm always gonna finish it. And I just have that mentality of like this is like I just accept it. This is happening. It's gonna suck. Uh, but no matter what, like I'm gonna finish it because I've had been in this situation so many times. And it's worked out so many times, so it's gonna work out this time. So I guess just having that confidence almost, but just the experience of discipline and that sort of thing.
Exactly. How would you guys define success now compared to maybe a year ago?
Well, a year ago, I think we were so caught up in college.
Yeah,
Success meant getting into a college you want to get into.
Yeah.
yeah,
For a lot of us, and at least for me, probably for you, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
You
could
could
define
say
a lot of
that.
your success based on where you got into
I
college.
think that's something we all could agree on is that that's what we were focused on, getting into college, getting the perfect diploma and essay, and maybe getting good grades.
Because you could think of all of high school as, what did I do this for if I didn't get into the college I wanted to get into,
Yeah.
right? This all led up to this moment of applying to college, getting into college, and that's how you would define your success, is going somewhere that you were happy with. Seems like it worked out for pretty well. So that's nice. How do you define success now? That's tough because we're at the forefront of the next 4 years.
It's like
We don't know what to
we're
expect.
almost like in the middle because it's like we
Right.
finished high school and that's good, but we haven't started college quite yet. So
Yeah, it's a weird time.
So for me, success would be if I can keep getting bigger and keep putting my all into the gym. If I took a picture of myself now and then a year from now and I was 10 pounds bigger, I would be really happy with that. And I would think that that's something I put my time and effort into and I was successful in. So that would really make me feel better. But as an overarching goal, I just want to enjoy college. I want to have a good
Yeah.
first year. I want to make good connections with people. It's rough because you probably don't know a lot of people going to college.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you do have to make a ton of connections and meet people, and that's something I'm excited to do. I'm not really nervous about it. I think it's just going to be great to meet a ton of new people, and you're still going to have your old people. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's really something that I would love to succeed in. And just like you said, getting into a routine.
Yeah.
Would be really good. What do you think?
yeah, I'm gonna say the same exact thing pretty much. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, great answer.
Yeah.
But for me, I haven't changed schools. I was a
Yeah.
lifer at Parker, so I haven't changed schools since I can't remember. So if I can, and I'm deep down, I know it'll happen. Like I know it'll be great, but there's always that little worry, like, is it gonna like, am I not gonna find good friends or what this and that? But if I can go into college and have the experience that Evan was talking about, like having obviously a great 4 years, but even just this first year, make friends with great people. Like I love the friends I have now, so if I can find people that that I feel the same about in college, I'll be definitely really happy with that. And then I guess to give an example of a more specific thing, uh, I don't. I'm like obviously really looking forward to joining the cycling team, but I don't know where it's gonna go.
Right.
Like I'm pretty new to it, and a lot of people who joined the team freshman year there are new to it. But it's pretty like I don't know where it's gonna go. So if that can turn into, yeah, I don't really have too many expectations for it. Like obviously I want it to go well, but if that can be something that becomes as big of a part of my life as running was in high school, then I'll be happy with that.
Awesome. And you said you just watched the tour.
Tour de France, yeah.
Can you?
Which
I was.
you really got to look that up.
No.
But yeah, what got you into cycling?
Um, my dad was always a cyclist, so that I guess that's part of it. But basically, Luca, my friend Luca at school, Luca Minafo, he uh he did an English project. Were you in sports lit or no?
Yeah.
You know the where we had to write another unit for the
Yes.
curriculum. He wrote one about the Tour de France about Lance Armstrong, and so he started joking like, "Oh, come ride your bike with me. Like, let's go on a bike ride." And then we actually did it, and it was fun. But I never expected it to turn into what it did, and then I got into it, and then that became what I saw on Instagram was like professional cycling and that sort of thing. And luckily, my dad has a really nice bike at home, so I was just able to use that immediately. So it was a really easy transition. Um, and it was the sort of thing where like I really enjoyed it off the bat because it's not running, but it's similar to running where it's like you're gonna be there for a while and you're gonna go through a lot of miles, but I was able to enjoy it. And then at Indiana, I knew there was this big bike race,
Yeah.
and the cycling culture is really, really big there. And so I started following this guy who's on the team that I'm going to join now. But he's like a influencer in a sense. Like he posts a lot of biking videos and stuff. And I saw one of his videos one day, and he just had an Indiana thing on it, and I was like, wow. So I DM'd him, and we just started talking. And one day he posted on his story, he's like, swipe up if you're going to be a freshman and you're interested in joining a cycling team. And I did, and then we called, and he was like, "Yeah, we'd love to have you on the team." So I've been talking to them. I know it's awesome, and it's a fraternity, which is cool because I was thinking about rushing anyway. So now I have that, but I also have the cycling team. So yeah, so it's perfect. And then now like ever since then I've gotten super into it because I know I have to be ready for the training and stuff there. And then when we were in Europe, I was like, I knew the Tour de France was like Tour de France was something I'd always kind of watch just because it's such a big event. Um, but now I know all the riders and stuff, so I was like, I'd love to see it when I'm there. I mean, it happened.
So like watch it and then.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's super cool.
Sorry, Evan, we're gonna focus on Sammie still.
Oh, go for it. Yeah. Some cool stuff or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so let's talk about this ultra that you just did. Can you share like the overall experience and then like the basic details where it was, how long? That's it.
So I'll give some background. It was in Switzerland in the Alps, Swiss Alps.
That's so cool.
It was. So I signed up for it about a year ago, because I've known I've been going to Europe for a while. And basically we started with a big group of 7 people, and then people left, and then it was 4 people, and then our friend London left, and then it was just me and not Evan, this Evan, but another Evan who I was friends with from cross country, and we've always done, he backpacked with us, so yes, yeah. And so I was like, well, we should do something in the Alps or like in the mountains somewhere once everybody else leaves. And so we went online and we found this race. I was thinking more of doing like a backpacking trip out there because that would have been more enjoyable, but we found it. No, I never. So that was never something I saw myself doing. Like people would always ask me, like, do you ever see yourself getting into marathons and stuff? I was like, not right now, not for a while. But we just signed up for the race, and it was kind of like a year ago when you sign up a year in advance. It almost doesn't feel real. Like you're like, yeah, I'm signing up for it, but the moment's never gonna come, And then it does, and then like we weren't nearly as ready as we should have been because when we signed up, we were like, yeah, we're gonna do some training, like we're gonna go on some long hikes. Yeah, that was the biggest thing is we really didn't know what to expect. So the race it's from this company called UTMB. They have a lot of races. They're a pretty big company. It was 48 miles, about 18,000 feet of elevation gain, which is more than half of what it takes to get up Mount Everest. Mount Everest is like 31,000, so it's more than halfway. Obviously not as hard because Everest is like ice and stuff like that, but and then the cutoff is 26 hours. So if you don't make it in 26 hours, then you don't make it. Which 26 hours, that's like 2 miles an hour, maybe a little less,
Yeah.
which is slower than what we do when we're backpacking, or like right around what we do when we're backpacking. So it wasn't, you don't have to go fast. Yeah, so because we knew when we signed up, it's not like an ultra where you have to run the whole thing,
Yeah.
especially because in the mountains you can't run the whole thing. Like,
Way out.
Yeah.
so we're like, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of walking. That's why we're like, we might be able to do it because we've done long hikes before, and obviously you carry a backpack with you, a little pack, but it's not nearly what the backpacking packs are. It was probably 5 to 10 pounds, just water and different food and stuff like that. And I had no idea what to expect, and we went into it, and that was probably the biggest part of it. Was super mental because I knew I had the capability to finish it because we've done 20-mile backpacking days and 20 miles with a 40-pound pack on.
Yeah.
If you can do that, I was like, I can probably get at least pretty close to finishing this 48-mile race with the light pack on. But the biggest part is I didn't know how I was going to feel. I'd never done anything close to that distance. Because in high school when I did like 5K races, I'd run distances way longer than that. So there was never uncertainty with the 5K that I was going to finish or how I was going to feel. With this, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to hit mile 30 and just start like feeling terrible, start like bonking.
Yes.
And so that was the big thing is when I started, we immediately went into a big climb at the start. And obviously you feel tired because when you're going up a climb, you're not going to not feel tired. And I'm like, we're at mile 7. And I feel pretty tired from this climb. I don't know how I'm going to make it to mile for another 40 miles. But it's that sort of thing I've been talking about where it's like, I just got to accept that I have 40 more miles and I just got to keep going.
For sure.
And I was able to break it up pretty easily in my mind because they had different aid stations where you can get food and stuff. So you just break it up into, all right, I just got to get to this next aid station. I got to get up this hill. Got to get to I got to wait for the sun to come down and it'll get cooler out and then it'll be nicer. And then the worst part was because the total time it took us was about 23 hours straight. So we started at 9 in the morning and then we finished at 8:30 the next morning. So we hiked throughout the entire night, and that was super brutal because you have a headlamp, but no sleep. So once it hit, I mean, I started feeling tired at 10 o'clock because at that point we'd already been hiking for over 12 hours. But once it hit 2, 3 in the morning, I could like I remember we'd be walking and I just felt like it saw me because my eyes were like closing, and then I'd close them and I'd see like little lines when I closed my eyes. So I started to get a little worried. I was like, oh, what's happening to me right now?
That's not good, right?
So mentally, that was the worst part. But like I said, he just broke it up into different pieces, and then the sun came up. And once the sun came up, that was when I knew I was going to finish. There's one last aid station. There were basically three climbs. That's how you got all the elevation. Is you went up at the beginning, then you go down, and then we went up, and then we went down, and then we went back up.
Wow.
And the last the last part of the race is called the wall, which is like 4,000 feet of elevation and a little over 3 miles, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's an average like 20% grade. And we were talking to everybody, and some people had done it before, and they're like, "Yeah, it's just the worst thing ever. It's the worst climb I've ever done." I was like, "Don't tell me this right now. I don't want to hear that." And so they started really psyching me out, and we got to the bottom, and there's a big aid station at the bottom, and that we took like a 10-minute nap there because we napped for 10 minutes twice. And I started freaking myself out. I started going like I started looking at the map, and I was like trying to do the math, and I was like, "Yeah, this is a 20% grade, which is really steep." I was like, "That's brutal." And I already felt terrible at that point. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. But it got to the point where I was psyching myself out so much that I was like, I have to do it. Like I remember I was texting my mom, and she was trying to be nice. She was like, "Remember, you've already come so far."
Yeah.
But I could tell, like, she was like, if you don't force yourself to do it if you don't feel that good. And she was just saying that because it was my mom. If I texted my dad, he would have been like, "Yeah, get up that hill right now and finish." But I was like, I have to do it. We're so close. At that point, it was like 10 kilometers for the finish, which is like 6 miles. And so I was in my head a lot, but to the point where it was almost good because I was like, you know what, now I have to do it.
Yeah.
And luckily we started it, and about 10 minutes into the climb, I was like, yeah, we're gonna finish. So that was the moment where that was probably the best moment of the whole thing, where I was like, yeah, this is gonna happen. Um, and the climb, it was terrible. It was like took us like 2.5, 3 hours, and that was the worst part, is because like we were talking about earlier, the walking takes such a long time. So we only had like 6 miles left. We'd already been hiking for like 19, 20 hours, and you're still like, you still have 3, 4 hours left, which is terrible. Because I think you have 4 hours left when you're that tired. It's just terrible. But we made it to the top, and then I remember when I got to the top, I was like texting my mom and my coach. I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be down in probably an hour and a half at the finish." So yeah,
That must be awesome.
it was. Oh, it felt great at the end.
Yeah. I mean, the reward.
The reward,
Probably better than the backpack.
yeah. It's cool because it's such a supportive community, because everybody in the race is like supporting each other, and you're all getting through it together, which is really cool.
Different.
Yeah, it was funny because most people were French or Swiss, so everybody spoke French for the most part. But we'd run into people who were from either like the UK or Ireland. There was a couple American people there, and you make small talk with them. But yeah, like I was saying, I listened to podcasts pretty much the whole time just to keep my mind distracted a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about listening to music, but I was like, if I listen to music, I'm gonna just tune it out and my mind is gonna start going other places. But if I listen to podcasts, I can listen to the conversations, and it'll be a little different. So
You're able to focus on the podcast
a little bit, yeah. Because like it was lighthearted podcast, so I'd be able to laugh a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
I remember when the sun went down for about 8 hours, I did not smile. I did not crack a smile. That's when it got to the part mentally where it was like, I hate this. Why did I do this? Why did I sign up? And I was tired too, so all I wanted to do was go lay down and sleep. And it was that was really brutal, but
Yeah.
that was the sort of thing like backpacking where I was like, I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna be in the worst mood. I'm gonna go home and be mad at everybody, and my mom's gonna be like, "How was it?" I'm gonna tell her, "Mom, that was the worst thing ever. It's gonna be terrible." And then you get to the top of the hill, and you're like, "Okay, this isn't so bad after all." So
It's awesome though. You're able to get through it. Okay, Evan.
Oh yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like
wow, that is interesting.
No, I want to ask you, do you think our generation approaches mental health differently compared to older generations?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Am I the expert? And we can both answer this question.
No. I've been talking for a long time.
No, I mean you've had a lot of cool stuff going on. How does our generation approach mental health? Wow, it's a tough one. Well, I think everyone's mental health is worse off for the generation they're born in. Like obviously, people are so privileged right now to be born in a time where we have technology that makes our lives easier. But at the same time, it's going to create bad habits, and that's going to make your life, your mental state probably a little harder. You know, everything's very convenient. You can get fast food. You can get, you have a car. You can go wherever you want. You can access communication with everyone. But in the end, it's going to lead.
Yeah, you know about that, right? Communication.
Yeah. I think it's definitely going to lead to some mental problems down the road. People are so stimulated. They're conditioned to be used to a lot of stimuli.
Right.
Like so many different notifications coming in, knowing what's happening in the news at all times, knowing what's happening with their friends at all times, where their friends are at all times. I don't know how that
that's
so
crazy.
normalized to where like every single person I have on Snapchat can know where I am at all times. You know what I'm saying? It's so weird. I should probably turn that off. I don't know. But you have it on.
Yeah,
Everyone
for some
a lot of people.
Well, I have the one where it's like only for some people.
For any people.
Well, also, we have each other on the Find My like iPhone thing.
That's true. You're the only person I have.
Really?
Yeah. My mom.
Actually?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Sometimes I'll check in on you.
Check it out. You should.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Where am I?
Well, when I looked like yesterday.
Yeah.
You were in my neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Well, I think
you're at Roxton Circle from time to time.
Oh, that's where I live. Yeah. I think Jane's new house is super close for Peterson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering why you weren't Because you were at a different area, but I thought you were at somebody else. Okay.
No.
It's closer or far?
Close to close.
So
So in general,
Sorry.
I don't know. I think therapy is very normalized now.
yeah.
It's true.
I don't think it's the be all end all solution to mental health problems, but I think it
Yeah.
can definitely help people. I think antidepressants are even more normalized, which I can get canceled, but I'm against them because I think you should
You could
probably.
get canceled.
You should, in my opinion, and obviously I don't know what works for everyone. I'm
Yeah.
sure they work great for people and they feel better. In my opinion, you should probably try to work towards the actual cores of the issues
Yeah.
instead of hoping that your brain chemistry will not think about the bad things in your life. I'd rather have you address the bad things in your life and try to work through them.
Before you take it, or just like in general? Because I'm wondering, like, what if you do try and address it, go to therapy, figure out your like, I don't know, challenges, and it doesn't work.
Again, I'm not an expert.
Well, I mean, I'm
And
just
I'm not saying like absolutely don't take antidepressants. I'm sure
It's
it's
about
for people. I think so much of your mental state can be intertwined with your health.
Yeah.
And I think that nobody takes care of their health as much as they should.
Right.
So much of your mental state can be stress from work and school, and then you don't give yourself enough time to recover because everyone's a dopamine addict. Your recovery is receiving more stimulus from a different screen. You close the laptop screen, and then you get the phone screen. So it's like, is that really making you feel better? So I think definitely trying to get away from your maybe unhelpful routines is going to help people a lot in the long run. And I'm guilty of it. And we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
We're all guilty of the
guilty.
scrolling.
Yeah.
So it's just a hard thing. But I think if you could try to minimize your stress, prioritize your health, I think it really does make a difference in your mental state. So that's my take on it. You disagree? Or?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Are we talking about like having bad mental health, I guess? Kind of forgot the question.
Well, I was just wondering what you guys think the differences in how we approach mental health are from our generation compared to older generations. And I think Evan brought up a good thing about like therapy because I mean, my grandparents never had that. They never did that.
And it's normal now.
Yeah,
I think older generations. Yeah. I think older generations have a lot more of like a tough, like a tougher mentality. Like, oh, just deal with your problems like this. Which is crazy to think because, like, a lot less, like 100. If you go back 100 years, there's still that you have World War I, right? Yeah. And then you have World War II coming up, and then a bunch of other wars. So, like, in the past 100 years, I mean, things are a lot different now, but people were like dying like crazy in war. So to think about the differences between an older generation and this, like a lot older generation, and this one is a lot different.
Yeah. And I mean, we went through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that, we won't know for years how much that messed kids up, but it probably made a difference.
I mean, we know a little bit now just being through COVID and just like being in our home the whole time. And we kind of already talked about the technology part. Like that, like I think that definitely sped up our addiction to this.
Like kids that were kindergartners during COVID are probably a lot worse off than because those are really formative years. Yeah. And
I think it was probably not long enough to the point where it could be terrible though.
Probably, yeah. It was only
a couple years. Yeah, like a year and a half. Like if it was like a 10-year, like a five
would be really bad. But I think having people's initial education be on screen, no physical presence and no connection with classmates at a really young age or a formative age, that's rough, man. And we're probably lucky to where we were at least, I don't know, we were adolescent, I guess. We were in 7th grade. Yeah. Like, it
was a pretty good time, honestly.
And
we were still developing, but we understood it.
We had friendships established already. Yeah. When you're in kindergarten, that's where you're first forming, like, your first friends and your first teacher that you idolize. And it's rough to have that all digital. Yeah.
Okay, as we're ending, I have a would you rather.
Okay.
So would you rather win a championship or like a meet or race,
Okay.
or complete a 10-day backpacking trip solo.
Oh, the championship.
Uh,
I don't want to do a backpacking trip solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see the value in it
Yeah.
for sure. And the mental fortitude of it's me versus me and I gotta do this for myself. But I love going on the trips with the
Yeah.
boys, man.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's because I think both of us are more than capable of doing a 10-day solo backpacking trip. I don't think either. I don't know if we could win a championship. You know.
Well,
No.
it would be sick.
Well, it would be a lot.
Semifinals
A lot.
here, but
I think it'd be a lot harder because I know for sure 100% we could both do 10-day backpacking trips. I don't know 100% that we could win a championship. You know what I
but
mean?
if you could.
also winning a championship.
If I could, that'd be awesome. So I would choose that.
Huge. And it's something where I could probably do a 10-day backpacking trip at any point in the next 20 years of my life.
Yeah.
I think I'll be physically fit for the next 20 years enough to do it.
Mhm.
Winning a championship, that's something you can only do with your team.
Yeah.
In high school or college, realistically, you know, I'm not going pro. You could.
In what?
I'm not going pro.
In what?
In it.
Oh, in it. Well, that's what I don't think any of us
Yeah.
are at that level, so I don't think
But I think
there's a
winning
lot of championships in our
is
future.
such a good feeling.
Mhm.
If I could have won, if volleyball could have won a big championship last year, that'd be such a great thing to leave high school with and knowing like
I can't even
you
imagine
have
how
that-
amazing
yeah,
that
legacy,
feels.
right?
Because I don't think either of us have had any of that, right? We won CIF one, like San Diego,
Yeah.
which was awesome. And it was also unexpected, which made it really cool when you finished. But that wasn't like state or anything. So it was
Yeah.
cool, but it wasn't like anything that crazy.
Yeah.
But even that felt amazing. So I can't imagine what winning a state championship
Yeah.
would feel like.
So I would have loved to have had that. And hey, maybe in club sports in college you'll get
Maybe
that kind of victory.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Are you trying to manifest that for us?
Yeah, maybe we'll look back on this.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys have any future goals or aspirations?
Nope.
But if you guys come back 4 years now,
Oh.
like,
Of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's set a
Maybe
goal.
we should say yeah.
I would love to be huge.
How
I don't have specific goals in that. Like
much bigger do you want to get, like realistically? Because I feel like when people get too big, it kind of looks ridiculous at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying you're that.
Well, obviously I'm not. Yeah. But like, if you're not doping, you can't get too big.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Would you ever consider that? Or not?
But that's way down the road, and I know enough about it to where I would be smart about it. You know.
But why would you do that? Because you just would be frustrated that you're not getting it.
The only reason I would ever take drugs is if I actually got big.
Performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
This is where
make it clear.
if I got big enough and I loved it enough to where I said I'm going to do a bodybuilding show or a competition.
I see. Okay.
But that is likely not.
Okay,
gonna happen,
yeah.
You know? So that would be the only reason why I would take BBs. But other than that, I just want to be as big as I can get naturally and look back and say that I never gave up on improving my body myself. Because the worst thing is like, oh, I used to work out. I used to be. Like, I never want to say used to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just always want to.
Continue.
Yeah. So that's my main goal for like my longevity and my health. And then for college, I just really want to. I hope that I have good networking opportunities and that I can leave college not having to look for a job. I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That would be my primary goal.
Yeah.
Because some people you'll see on Instagram or whatever, like, oh, like graduated from Yale and now I'm working at McDonald's. It's like you gotta find some connections while you're in college.
Yeah.
You gotta set yourself up for success. So that's something that I want to prioritize.
Yeah.
I gotta stop letting him talk first because I'm gonna say the same thing. Okay? But in terms of sports, the bike race that we trained for is actually it's like pretty big there. So winning that would be really, really awesome. Or even getting like top 3 in a year would be super awesome. Or just becoming like the captain of that team would be awesome. Like being actually very successful in that. But yeah, that'd be awesome. And just having that be a good experience over 4 years like I really like that on like cross country to be good the entire time instead of just the first couple of years and then I start burning out. And then in terms of academics, uh, really putting myself out there, networking, especially because if doing finance at a big business school, it's going to be pretty competitive. But like making good connections and putting myself out there, doing internships and stuff like that, I think that'd be awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I have one quick question because you did bring up burnout.
Yeah.
Just how do you prevent it? That's something you dealt with 4 years. You were in cross country track.
Yeah.
That's a long time, and
Yeah.
that can definitely a lot of things can prevent burnout, or you can get burnout from. But how do you kind of lessen that chance?
Yeah. I'd say planning everything out in a good way. And I know that's hard because especially if you're new to it, that was a problem with me for cross country because I saw these seniors running 60, 70 miles a week. I was like, I can do that.
Right.
And I could, but that's what gets you burned out, because I went too hard too fast. And I think I set expectations a little bit too high for myself because I was like, oh, if I'm doing what they're doing, then I'm going to be like them in no time. And that's just not how things always work. So you have to be a little realistic. Obviously, you want to set goals for yourself, but you have to be a little realistic. And that was a problem when I started falling short of what I was expecting. That's also what played into the burnout a little bit because if you're being super successful, then you can keep up a higher level than, at least for me, than if you're not being successful, because when you're successful, then everything's easier and more fun and stuff like that. So I just say planning yourself out, not going too hard, too fast, especially in high school sports. You have 4 years to reach your goals. That's a long time. So you don't have to, I mean, it's good to start early, but you don't have to go crazy freshman year and then be burned out by then. And then also diversifying what you do.
Yeah.
I kind of wish, because I quit all my other sports just for running. And so I wish I had either kept another sport or did soccer freshman and sophomore year. So during that off season, I didn't always have to think about running or be able to do something else.
Just finding other
Yeah.
hobbies.
Yeah. And then another thing is surrounding yourself with good teammates because especially with running, doing it by yourself is the easiest way to get burned out because doing it by yourself sucks. But when you do it with other people, it doesn't suck as much. So yeah. What do you think?
I never had a ton of burnout with athletics because I think the team sport of it makes it a lot different. Like you're just surrounded by such good people, especially if you like your team. Like I had a ton of friends on volleyball, so it would always be just a good experience. Like Luca is my boy, and we play the same position.
Shout out Luca.
Shout out Luca. So I didn't burn out that. I had some academic burnout throughout high school. I had straight A's freshman, sophomore year, and then
My bad.
and then
Sorry, him.
and yeah,
Sorry.
well, and then there was a little noticeable decline junior and senior year.
Oh man.
It all worked out in the end, but I don't know how I would go about preventing it. I think my priorities changed a little, and I think I became a little more focused on my health and my social life, and I didn't find a great way to balance that with academics. So I think with anything, you just want a really good balance of all things you're doing.
And it's okay if priorities change. That's.
Are you happy that they changed like that?
In the end, I'm happy because it worked out.
Because you're going to a school you wanted to go to.
It's one of my top choices. If I did not get into a good school, a school that I wanted to go to, I would have had to think about it. Was it worth it? To give up on. Take my foot off the pedal of academics a little.
Cool. Okay. My last question for you guys. I asked this to all my guests, but Sammie, I'll have you go first. What matters most to you? The destination, the journey, or the company, and why?
Well, you got to say the journey. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because especially for us, like that's what we've been saying. It's like while you're in the middle of a backpacking trip, you're looking forward to seeing the car, taking off your backpack, going to Canes, eating the Canes, and then after you start looking back at the pictures, you're like, wow, that was awesome. I wish I enjoyed the journey itself more. So I think a lot of times it is too much about the destination, but it definitely should be about the journey as much as you can you can make it about the journey. And I think the company falls into the
Yeah.
journey aspect because the company makes the journey, you know.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna say, I think I would say journey as well. And it's so hard to enjoy the journey unless you're enjoying it retroactively. Because
Yeah.
it's like you said, when you're in the journey, you're looking for the destination. But retroactively, which one did you get more satisfaction out of? Probably the actual journey.
The journey.
itself. So,
Well, because the finish doesn't mean anything if you didn't
Yeah.
have the journey, you
right.
know.
So, yeah, I have to say journey. With backpacking,
Yeah.
it's the part you look back on and you're like, that was sick. When we were hiking through this area and we
Yeah.
saw this, you know, that was the best part of it. And then with sports, you know, I don't know how it is for cross country, but with volleyball, it's like practice ain't all that bad. You know, obviously the title semifinalist is nice, but but the practices that led up to it, and you got your friends on the team. That's like the experience that you can look back on when it's all done, and you're gonna say that was the best part.
Yeah.
Was being on the team.
Well,
Not
like
what team did, you know.
I was talking about finish lines earlier. The finish line doesn't mean anything unless you have all that distance from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good perspective.
Because then if you don't have the journey, then it's just a little sign that says finish on it. It doesn't mean anything.
You gotta
It
work.
only means something once you have to go through that whole journey to get there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Oh man.
First.
Oh,
first
yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, guys.
It's super fun.
To my listeners, Mind Strong, game on.
I like that.
Guys, it wasn't recording.
Actually?
No.